Bix Weir, roadto.com. It is Saturday 4th, I believe. Wanted to talk about the insanity of our stock markets, bond markets, markets in general, and the distortions that happen because of market rigging and all the rah-rahing on mainstream media, which they all work hand in hand together. We are living the biggest lie ever in the history of humanity, and it can be seen everywhere. Stock market, Dow Jones Industrial Average is a great example. Now, Trump keeps saying everything's great, and everybody's saying, what's great? What is great? All they do is lie about the numbers of unemployment, lie about the numbers of the GDP, the GNP. Every number is lied about. Inflation is the worst. Oh my God. I feel so sorry for the people who are living off Social Security because they only get bumps from the inflation rates on, nothing. With inflation, official inflation at zero, the people living on Social Security cannot survive. And that's probably the biggest problem with this rig job that Alan Greenspan started in the 1970s. Ultimately, his plan was to crash the system and reallocate money according to Social Security balances. So maybe the people on Social Security will get a leg up in the future. But right now, no, oh my God, it's brutal. But where's all this inflation going then? It's going right into the stock market, the bond market, all these ridiculous places, crazy money areas, and the housing issues are starting to pop up again. Anybody can get a housing loan right now, just like in 2007, 2008. But I want to call attention on Thursday night, we closed at the highest ever. I think it hit 29,000 for the Dow. Now, historically, the Dow's probably close to double inflated based on historical average of the PE ratio, price per earnings ratio. Right now, it's right around 25 historically. And it always returns to historical. It's 16. 16 is the number. And that really is historically since 2000 or 1971 went off the gold standard. Even before that, it was more like 10 or 12. But right now, historically, it's 16 PE ratio, but it sits at 25 at the moment. Just from a historical basis, the Dow should be, 40% lower. Without a crash, without anything. Just if everything was normal and going along fine, like Trump and his administration says. They're not good liars, but they are liars, and they follow it up with market rigging. So Steve Mnuchin, he's a horrible actor. We saw that in December, but he's very good at market rigging with computers. And who wouldn't be? All you have to do is set the price where you want it, click as much buys or sells as you want, and then click a mouse and run the program. It's that easy. But this is not long for the world. Great article here on alt markets. How long will it take for the U.S. to collapse? It goes through, yes, the U.S. is in the process of collapse. The question is how long it will take, and they talk a lot about the need for market rigging and a mass media campaign. Here's some highlights. There are a number of factors that cause mass blindness to economic and social reality. First and foremost, establishment elites deliberately create the illusion of prosperity by rigging economic data to the upside. We see that in spades. That is a fact of nature in the United States especially. They do it all over the world, but the United States, everybody's got their eye on it. In almost every case of economic crisis or geopolitical disaster, the public is conditioned to believe that they are in the midst of a financial boom or an era of peace. They are encouraged to ignore fundamental warning signs in favor of foolish faith in the system. Those people that try to break the apathy and expose the truth are called Chicken Little and doom mongers. In the minds of the cheerful lemmings, a collapse is something very obvious. They think they will know when they saw it. It's like trying to teach a blind person about colors. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult to get all these Helen Kellers to understand what they perceive is not the whole reality. There's a vast hidden world from them, and they have no concept how to observe it. Crash events are like stages in the process of collapse. They create moments of clarity for the blind. However, they are also often engineered to benefit the establishment. There's a reason why the elites put so much energy into hiding real data on the state of the economy, and it's not because they're trying to keep the system from faltering by using sheer public ignorance. Rather, a crash event is a tool, a means to an end, as Congressman Charles Lindbergh Sr. warned after the Panic of 1920, quote, "Under the Federal Reserve Act, panics are scientifically created and present panic in the first scientifically created one. The present panic is the first scientifically created one, worked out as we figure a mathematical problem. Central bankers and their cohorts manipulate economic data and promote the false notion of a boom before almost every major market crash because they want to ambush the populace. They want to create panic and then use it to their advantage as they rebuild and mutate the system into something unrecognizable only decades ago. Each consecutive crash contributes to the collapse of the whole, until eventually the society we once had is barely recognizable in distant memory. This process can take decades, and the U.S. has been subject to it for quite some time now. Once again in 2019, we are seeing the lie of an economic boom being perpetrated in the mainstream. The public was growing too aware of the danger and had to be subdued. More specifically, conservatives were growing too aware. The sad thing is that the boom propaganda is most prominent today amongst conservatives, who are desperately trying to ignore the fundamentals in an attempt to defend the Trump administration. I agree 100%. If there's one thing I hate about Trump, it's his market rigging and market distortions. The only concern of the banks, and he talks more about Trump, the only concern of the banks is that they do not take the blame as their engineered collapse of the world order. Let me read that again. The only concern of the banks is that they do not take the blame as their engineered collapse of the old world order hits the public with increasingly painful consequences. That's what I've been saying all along. You can't have regulators go after the banks because the banks will just blame the regulators. The banks have to be the one who takes the blame. JP Morgan will be the scapegoat. Watch it. I outlined 3 potential distractions that could be used in the near term, and if any of these events took place, then people could watch for the collapse to move faster. 2 of these events now appear imminent, the first being war with Iran, and the second being a no deal Brexit. Finally, we can take into account the globalist need for a scapegoat, and it appears that conservatives and nationalists are their target for blame. This leaves less than 1 year for a crisis event if Trump is intended to leave the White House in 2020, or less than 4 years if he is intended to stay for second term. Keep that in mind. A lot can happen in a single year, and a second Trump term is certainly not guaranteed yet. I agree with that. If everything stayed the same and he continued to rig markets, yeah, he'd probably get in office again. If they orchestrate a collapse, if the banksters or the elite guys want them out, it's easy to orchestrate a collapse. If that happens, you're going to see the rise of Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, which I believe will happen. Now, I don't think we're going to end up turning to them for the solution. What we are witnessing today is the beginning of a new crash and the final phases of a collapse in our way of life. The economic boom narrative among conservatives is a farce designed to trick us into complacency. The bubble that we warned about under the Obama administration has been popped under the Trump administration. Nothing has changed in the 10 years since the 2008 crash except that the motivation for keeping the crash hidden is quickly disappearing. I've said all along, both the good guys and the bad guys want to crash the system. The bad guys want to crash the system, 1, to get Trump out of office, but 2, to hide their misdeeds. The good guys want to crash the system to get the bad guys out. Crashes are inevitable, but collapse is only possible when the public remains unprepared. Our civilization and its values are under attack, but they can only be destroyed if we stay apathetic to the threat and refuse to prepare for their defense. We must adopt a philosophy of decentralization. We need localized and self-sufficient economies, as well as a return to localized production. Beyond that, we have to prepare for the eventuality of a fight. The fate of the U.S. economy has been sealed, but the people who are destroying it can be stopped before they use the collapse to force society into subservience. We have to offer security. We have to offer alternatives to the New World Order, and we have to remove the globalist threat permanently. Make no mistake, we are living in the midst of an epic moment. The outcome of collapse depends on us and our reaction. This is not the task of the next generation. It is a task for our generation. We do not have another couple decades to take the danger seriously. The plates are not spinning. They have already dropped. Great article. I advise everybody to check it out. I do think that Trump is working with the good guys, but as far as his economic policies, I know why he's doing it, to keep the system together, take out the bad guys, but hey, it's still, you cannot build a sound base on a lie. And this is a huge lie. So we will see what happens. But on a lighter note, hysterical. Watch this thing that was posted on January 2nd, prank with Maxine Waters. Oh my God, Greta Thunberg. It was a hoax phone call that got into the idiotic Representative Maxine Waters, probably one of the most criminal people in Congress. Check this out. Listen to what this is supposedly Greta Thunberg and her dad talking to Maxine Waters.
Absolutely.
First of all, it's a huge prank. So listen, she falls for it hook, line, and sinker.
Yes.
That's so nice. We have a wonderful climate strike to support the ecology of Chungachanga Island. Thousands of people came to meet me. We are standing together against the pollution and to save our planet.
Chungachanga Island, they just made it up.
I'm very glad that my cause finds so much support. I was in California last week. It was so great.
Well, thank you, and I'm so glad you came to my state. And of course, I know all about you. You have made quite a big thunder on this issue.
Made quite a big thunder.
I'm really very proud of you and the work that you're doing.
We're now in North Carolina. So we are in a climate strike here in a meeting.
Okay. So you're in the meeting now? The meeting has started?
Yes, already.
Yes. We're there now. We're here now at the meeting, and if you will allow me, I will put you on a speakerphone. So yes.
And we will let you say to people who is around here.
I think that it will be great honors for them to hear you. So you can say some words of support to all the people who came here to support the problems of the wonderful island and the ecology of the world.
Which island are they targeting?
Chungachanga.
Chungachanga?
Yes.
Okay. That island is particularly threatened? Okay.
Listen to how she says Chunga
so
Chunga.
Let me get started, okay?
Yes, we are ready. You can start.
Hello, everybody. This is Congresswoman Maxine Waters, and I am so pleased to be on this telephone call with Greta Thunberg. I am just so proud of her and her father, Savante Thunberg, and the work that they are doing. As you know, Greta is an environmental activist, and she took part in the United Nations Climate Summit in New York recently, and she has been traveling, and she has been the greatest advocate for what is happening with our climate and the environment. And I'm very pleased that she's with you in North Carolina, where you're focusing on protecting the very important island of Chula Challenge. And so I could just go on and tell you that I believe that she certainly should win the Nobel Peace Prize for what she is doing.
Oh my God. It gets better when she starts talking about, she says, "Oh, I ran into Trump in the hallway and he told me that no one would believe me if supposedly he said something about the Ukrainian president." Oh my God, it's great. Listen to this.
I don't know how to say about it. I saw him in the hallway he was with security. I shouted at him, sign the Paris Climate Agreement again. He came over, he laid it towards me and said softly, listen to me carefully, little girl, you will never achieve your goal. Like this congressional fool tried to accuse me.
He said you will never achieve your goal?
He continued.
Oh my goodness. Did you ask him if he would rethink signing the Paris Agreement? Was that your question to him?
Yes, that was, he added that. And you know what? I will tell you the truth. Anyway, I really wanted to push the Ukraine president to put my competitor on trial. And he will go to trial with you, with your bunch of ecology and Democrats. I already have a separate cage for all of you. I was crying.
Oh my God, did you cry?
Yes, I was crying, and even I cry now because it's very hard to remember this.
He said her, little girl, nobody believe you anyway. I'll tell you the truth. I really pushed on Ukrainian president, and you know that you will never achieve your goals like these congressional fools who accuse me. And you know what? So nobody will believe you. You will be in trial like my competitor.
Yes, he added
oh
that
my God.
He
mentioned Ukrainian president?
Ooh, that hit her
yes,
trigger
he
button.
Said that, and he added, nobody will believe you anyway.
Nobody will believe you anyway. And what else did he say?
That's all. And
it was enough for me. Yes, it was terrible.
Classic. You guys go check it out. Prank with Maxine Waters. She then goes on to invite Greta. Greta says, "Oh, yeah, and I took an audio tape with my cassette player, and you have it on tape. Come to Washington. My people will meet with you." Oh my God, crazy stuff. Very funny. We should do a lot more of this. Get these criminal politicians in places they don't want to be. So let's talk about a place we do want to be. Starting tomorrow night at midnight, the Raw Food Reboot. Go to the website. If you're interested at all in this, go to the website, Raw 21 Reboot. It's all free. And hit the contact link to sign up for the newsletter. Hit subscribe, just your name and your email address. Let me give you a quick rundown of what this thing is. This is Amy's website. Reboot your body, refresh your mind, reawaken your soul. First and foremost, thank you so much for taking interest in joining the Raw Food Reboot. If you decide to embark on this short journey, it will change your life. That is true. It isn't a diet or heavily structured program. It's a 3-week raw food nutrition plan to help you reboot your body back to its full potential. This is a community of like-minded individuals looking to improve the quality of their lives by detoxing on a cellular level with the most bioactive food available: fresh, organic, unprocessed, raw fruits and vegetables. This is a group endeavor that we will have all decided we would like to explore together. Countdown to reboot. 1 day and 14 hours. 1 day and 14 hours to the reboot. How does it work? The idea is to replace processed, cooked, and other unnatural foods we eat with organic, raw, natural foods for 3 short weeks. We want everyone to know and experience what it is like to eat whole, raw, living, high vibrational foods that will not only increase your health and vitality, but also clear the toxic sludge, which I have a lot of right now, that is built up in your bellies over the years. Is the reboot for me? This reboot is for anyone interested in changing their lives and rejuvenating their physical, emotional, and spiritual health. You can join us from anywhere. This is an online resource available from anywhere in the nation, anywhere around the world, actually. We'll be kicking off our next reboot on Monday, January 6th. So basically Sunday night at midnight. And then it goes through the goals and the benefits. Now, let me read these because they're important, and it's actually really true. I've done it. This will be my 3rd time. Benefits of eating raw: you feel more energetic, vibrant, healthy, revitalized, empowered, and fulfilled. It clears the junk out of your body and digestive system, especially as you go from the smoothies, especially if you use kale because it scrubs your intestines, onto the juices. And the last week is a juice week. And then everything is just washed clean. You have clearer skin, better sleep, better digestion, better brain function and mental clarity, sharpness, overall increase in livelihood and well-being, better physical awareness of the body, better energetic awareness of nutritional intake, weight loss, which I lost 25 in the first one. I'm shooting for 20 because I'm down below where I was this time. But it's not really, you can eat as much as you want. That's the amazing thing. Lower risk of developing heart and cardiovascular disease. People are so worried about what they eat between Christmas and New Year, but they really should be worried about what they eat between New Year and Christmas. Jim Craig, that's classic. So if on the website you go, you click on the reboot, she's got recipes, what can I eat? It goes through all kinds of stuff. Yes, there's salads, but there's all kinds of things you can make with just vegetables, fruits, and nuts. So it's 3 weeks. The first week is raw foods. Enjoy eating whole foods, raw foods, anything nature provides. We include raw fish. So sashimi, not the rice, because that's cooked, but raw fish. The second week is all blended. You take all that food and you put it in a blender. And there's massive amounts of recipes. You guys have made smoothies before. You can make them sweet. You can make them savory. Amy's got a gazpacho smoothie. And all kinds of recipes on how to do it. And the third week is juices. And there's all kinds of different types of juice recipes that she has. And it's amazing. The other thing is you don't drink alcohol or caffeine or smoke. Very important. If you want to reboot your body to the way when you were born, the day you were born, 3 weeks. That's all it takes. All right. And no, Amy doesn't charge for this. This is all 100% free, presented by roadtoruta.com. So go to Raw21 Reboot and sign up, or go to the Road to Ruta page, and it's the second link down. Click on that, and the link is right there, Raw21 Reboot. That'll take you right to the page, and then hit the contact button to sign up for the newsletter. All the recipes are here, just tons of recipes, all kinds of crazy recipes. 6 vegan raw soup recipes, raw soup, ultimate green smoothie guide. Who doesn't like smoothies, right? Juice recipes, you name it. There's a Himalayan salt lemonade, which I'm thinking about if I had organic vodka, but there's no booze, I'll drink that, the Himalayan salt lemonade, with Tito's when I'm done with this. Homemade cashew milk is really popular. And it tastes good, actually. And Amy's got a recipe for how to make it. And you can make it yourself. It's really easy. You just get the raw cashews. And Paulie P from the chat rooms has made cashew milk from the cab of his truck. Because he's on the cleanse. He's doing it again. Bitcoin Ben's doing it. I got half my relatives doing it this time. It's going to be awesome. Because you feel really good. About 2 or 3 days in, after your body goes through the detoxing, like the caffeine headaches hurt a little bit. I've already started to cut back on caffeine. I haven't had caffeine in 2 days because I didn't like the caffeine headaches. But it's just your body telling you that it shouldn't have been there in the first place. That caffeine, you get over the headaches, and then all of a sudden you feel amazing. You don't need caffeine to wake you up in the morning because you're full of energy. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, please join us for the Raw Food Reboot, and Amy, join her blog posts and all that. The blog posts are right here. Right here, blog posts. And gosh, she's got a great website. Her latest was just December 31st, 5-day countdown with more prep tips. You're going to need to get some raw organic food from the store and things like that. Now's the time to prepare. Ben, tell Kelly to prepare. I know you're in Flint, Michigan, drinking. He's like, I'm not going to drink the water in Flint, as he's making coffee from Flint water. I love Ben. But tell Kelly to prepare for the reboot. It starts on Sunday night. Sunday night. I don't want you smoking this time. You smoked the last time. No smoking. We got to get your voice back so you can sing with me on stage. Anyway, that's the deal right now. This is Bix Weir, roadtour.com. Talk to you later.